welcome to Indie Film Cafe Spotlight. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody. Sadly, Paul Presenza couldn't be here. He is cooking chili right now. Literally, yeah, he couldn't make it because he had to go home and cook chili. So,
are you fucking kidding me? He couldn't make it because he had to cook chili?
Yeah, that's
I'm sorry, John. I can't be in your movie because I need to make a steak.
Oh, no. He could be in the movie. He couldn't be here.
No, I can't be here for this. I gotta go now. Sorry, guys. I gotta make bacon and eggs. I'll be right back. All right.
Okay. I guess chili comes first, man. So anyway, I'm here with the lovely Tina Krause, who you might know from a lot of movies. I'm not even going to go down like her whole resume, but I'm going to talk about some specific movies that I know that I grew up watching and stuff. To begin with, so when did you start getting into like the B-level horror films?
I'm old. I can't remember my name half the time. No. When did I start getting into the B? I'd say like my very first movie role was a B.
Was it?
Yes.
What was it?
It was I don't remember the name of it. So it was that long ago. And it was literally on the campus of the Chiller Theater when that was in I believe in Hackensack at Fairleigh Dickinson.
Mm-hmm.
This is before they went to the hotels. That's how old this is. Yes, we had beepers.
Did beavers there?
Beepers.
Beaver.
No, beavers. Oh my god.
That's a completely different topic.
It's a different movie.
Yeah. So you have beepers back then, yes.
Yeah, beepers. It's
not
old.
cell phones that, you know.
No, not computers in your hands. Nope. Not that.
No. Now it's like
computer
that.
camera.
But back then it was I actually never owned a beeper, and
it was actually with. I'll be honest with you. It was actually with Wave Productions.
Wave Productions.
Yeah, Wave Productions. All the movies you probably have seen that I've been in.
Well, I know you worked with J.R. Bookwalter a lot and stuff. Yeah. So you did. You did Bloodletting, which I absolutely adore. You know, I love that movie. I just first and your character, it was so much fun. Like. Actually, that's what I have to say about almost every one of your characters.
Oh my God.
Like, do people like seek you out to find fun roles, or do you just make them fun?
No, usually originally the roles are, just your typical. I'm gonna get slashed, killed. Maybe a titty pops out. I don't know, fucking something like that. Right. Maybe. But I'm definitely gonna die, and it's gonna be in the most ridiculous way. Okay.
Right.
That you could possibly imagine, and I guess because. I don't know, man. Sometimes in the back of my head, I just laugh at some of the shit. So I'm just like, this could actually be really funny, and the character comes out. I don't know.
Right, character comes out of that.
They don't write it that way. Like, did you write?
No. So we gotta say this. Preface by saying this. Like, we just shot last night, and I wrote a more serious thing than what Tina ended up doing, and I loved it. Like I'm all for comedy, like I love comedy and I love horror, and I love putting them together too. So I'm okay with that. But like it was yeah, you're right, because I don't think I put any funny lines in you, and
no, not at all.
Your delivery was just spot on, like hilarious, and. I think I can't wait to see what, like how it gets put together,
Oh, this is going to be interesting.
So we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But let's, so you worked with J.R. Bookwalter, and let me see, I know Quest for the Egg Salad was the first project I saw of you, or whatever, back in 2004 or 5. Something like that. I think you did that in 2003, I believe.
Probably.
And so that was the first thing I saw of you, and I thought you were hilarious. Once again, probably that was you being you and saying like your own like little lines or whatever.
Smart ass remarks, yeah, that's typical.
Yeah. Which I thought was funny because like you're in the trailer, but really you don't come into like later in the movie, and then you're not there for like the whole thing or something,
right.
But you did. Oh man, you were great. I loved seeing it, and. It was funny, and it was like one of the first. It was the first Chris Seaver movie I ever watched. So, we've interviewed Chris Seaver here on this show too, and that's the thing. Like, he films all of these movies really freaking quickly. So, like,
Yes.
you know, and like they took what, like, you were there for what, 2 or 3 days or something
like that.
for a feature, like, and then that's literally how long it took for
Yeah.
it's the whole movie. You know, it's like 3 days or something. You know, it's crazy. Like, I could never do a feature film that fast. Like, we literally just shot 2 days, and we got things that we needed done for something that, you know, has a lot more
Right,
to it,
right.
you know, too. So, but you know, so what's the scariest movie that you've been in? Like, what's the movie that if people were to ask you that, like, which one would you recommend?
That's what is the scariest movie I've been in? I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Mm.
Honestly, I don't know what the scariest movie that I've been in. I'm trying to think.
Come on, people. Write comments. Write comments. Let us know what you think.
I'll tell you what. In this podcast, okay, you're gonna just tell people to call in and see what they think is the scary, and let me know because I'm at a loss. I'm like,
I wish people could call in. People can't.
Maybe I could say the most violent one that I've been in.
Right? Which
Okay?
one is that?
That would be Salvation by Blood. It's a short, but it's really, really violent. I play a serial killer in it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So, what would you prefer to do? Would you prefer to be like...
I'm sick of fucking dying.
So you're sick of being a victim?
I don't die anymore.
Well, now I know that. God, now I can't kill you off anymore. Oh, whoops.
Damn it.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, that's it.
No, well, I mean, I love, you know, like, I think you could play anyone. You could play a victim, a killer, or the final girl if you wanted to, I
Or a
think.
prostitute.
We actually talked about that, though. I think sometimes the final girl is, like, the more boring character.
Well, maybe that has to change.
Do you think so? Like,
Absolutely.
Do you think people can change that?
All right, here, prime example. Let's just make it the final girl, and let's just say the final guy. All right.
Right.
So like Zombieland, right?
Right.
Who's the final guy in there?
Oh, it's Jesse Eisenberg, right, or whatever. And Woody Harrelson.
Right. And
Yeah.
are they boring?
No.
Not at all.
Okay.
Bingo.
So, are you saying final guys, you know, or more
No,
fun?
I'm saying it has to be like maybe make the final girl more on that level than
Okay.
the
Yeah.
boring girl who's like, I'm so smart and I got the right idea and ha 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 ha. I'm dead.
And I'm the
wrong, to
virgin,
save the day.
and, you know, all these, like, traits that just, I feel like are very cliche these days. They should change, you're right, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of them are old traits.
Make this one a badass, man.
The movie, yeah. The movie,
Or a ditz. That would be great if the ditz was actually the savior.
I've heard people say they wanted to do that, and I don't think anybody's done that yet. I
No,
don't know.
the ditz is the savior, and the only reason why she's a savior is because she's so stupid she winds up killing all the bad guys.
Stop giving people ideas for movies! You
I'm
know?
doing that.
Yeah. That's trademarked Tina Krause.
You can't use that. I'll sue you.
She'll make that movie.
That's it. I'm gonna make that movie.
See, there you go.
That's it.
So Bloodletting, we just reviewed. So on this show, Indie Film Cafe, one of the things that we do is we talk about movies, especially movies that we reviewed.
Okay.
And we reviewed specifically. Were you were in Dr. Horror's Erotic House of Idiots?
Yes, I was.
Yes, you were. So we reviewed that. I love that movie.
I love my titles.
Yeah. Dr. Horror's Erotic House of Idiots.
Uh-huh. Hi, I was in the house of idiots. Like, I just...
Right? I mean, it doesn't even have to say Dr.
Yeah.
Horrors.
I
thought it said, like,
FML, right?
Dr. Horrors, you know. But it was so much fun. I remember that movie. So we reviewed that. We also reviewed just recently Witch House 3.
Oh.
You know, right? And we adored doing that.
Did you like the scene with the bat?
Oh, yeah. Holding the bat up.
There's no squirrels up there. It's not a fucking raccoon.
That scene, and we were talking about it earlier. I think it was either yesterday or the day before that. You have that. Was it the scene with you singing into the mirror and everything?
Oh my God.
And we had a fun time with that. I don't remember what the song was. Was that like a made-up song or?
I remember singing into a tube of toothpaste. I can't quite remember what the hell I was singing.
But yeah, you were brushing your teeth and singing. Apparently.
This was not my idea.
Jared Bookwalter's idea.
You got a kick out of it.
Well, and you seem to be into it, so I mean, we had a fun time with that. We thought you did a fantastic job in that.
Thank you.
But I've never seen a bad performance by you.
Oh,
know.
good.
You don't watch this for a while.
No, just kidding.
No, I mean, even just watching you do this, you can just take the little dialogue and make it a little bit different, and and change it up and make it you.
Yeah, well, we're gonna shoot a scene that we don't have written in the bathroom.
That's true. We didn't have that. Oh man. All right, so I guess we'll talk a little bit about what we just shot. But we shot Tales from Echo Lake, and there is a scene that's gonna be added into the movie. It's gonna happen that she's in the bathroom, and I think there might have been there wasn't any dialogue in the bathroom, but there was probably something written that you'll be in the bathroom or whatever, because we need a little transition. But you're in the bathroom, and you, of course, do some improv, and shit. It's the funniest thing. Tina is just give her, let her improv, please. Don't.
Swatting?
Oh, We'll get into
and
that
you got
later.
daddy issues.
No, those kind of things. Yeah, I can't wait for people to see it. We don't want to give anything away, but I think people would really.
I know now you guys are intrigued.
Yes. So watch Echo Lake. Hopefully coming this fall.
Yeah, that'd be great.
God, dude. And that was the thing. What I really loved about our shoot was that we were able to take, stuff that was, inside jokes to us, like Ring Ring, and everything, and turn it into part of the production, And I feel like a lot of times people don't do that because they're afraid it might ruin the script, or that it's not what I wrote. They're like, it's not what I wrote. You gotta stick to the script. Which I am not a director who even though I write this stuff, you don't have to stick to my scripts as long as you don't change the script. You know what I mean?
Wait, next week it'll be something different.
Right, exactly.
Oh, it was a horror turned into a comedy. I ain't changing.
Exactly. Well, I mean, she did sort of make it more comedic, but I like that, And I feel like a lot of films are afraid, horror films are afraid to go comedy because people hate comedy and horror, and I think a lot of that has to do with what is basically going on these days with comedy horror. It's not funny.
Well, yeah, some of it. I mean, there's some that are like we talked about. Zombieland is funny. That's comedy horror for sure. Okay, but I guess you're talking about the low budget stuff.
Yeah, because some comedy is hard. And you have to have the right performer to do comedy.
Yeah, it's timing.
Yeah, somebody tried to do your stuff. They might not be able to do it the way you did it.
Yeah, it's wit and timing. You have to be a pretty fast thinker.
Exactly. And so you're really good at that because you don't just do horror. No. You do comedy as well.
No, I'm getting more into comedy. Actually, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I got booked on a comedy because somebody saw a low-budget horror movie that I was in that I had a small scene in, and they said they had to keep rewinding it. I can't remember the film. They had to keep rewinding the scene and watching it because it made them laugh so fucking hard that they couldn't get over it. So, and they couldn't figure out how I got booked in a horror that I should be doing comedy, so they put me in their comedy.
And was that the first comedy you ever did? Or
no. May have been the second or third.
Okay.
But yeah, but it was earlier part of me doing comedy. This is years ago.
So you like both, right? Like horror and comedy.
Yeah, I mean, I like horror because I'm in it and I do it and I write it and direct it. But I really, as far as acting goes and being in movies, I'm starting to lean towards more comedy. I'm finding myself moving in that direction even though I'm not looking for it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just falling into place like that.
Exactly. And I think that's what's good, especially with careers. You've had a career, doing a lot of this stuff for a while now.
Oh, yeah. And I'm not going to stop doing horror. That's what I'm that's where
It's your bread and butter.
that's
right
it.
there.
That's like that's where everything stemmed from.
Right. What do you? Because you also write and direct. What like? Do you prefer acting over? Or do you both same kind of thing?
That's a hard question. Everybody always asks me that question. What would you rather do, direct or act? There's a love of acting that I love to do, and it's fine and wonderful, and I like that part. And then there's a part of directing that's so different from all of that I like. And sometimes I like this one more, and sometimes I like the other one more. Depends on the day I'm having. I'm having a shitty acting day. I'd rather be a director. And then when I'm directing, fuck, acting's easier.
It's so true. Like it changes, it shifts.
Yeah.
So, after
I don't know, whatever the grass is greener on one side, that's the one I want.
2 years ago, I was acting in something, and directing at the same time, and oh man, I was so stressed out, like throughout the whole shoot. Then I get on these shoots, and I'm there's a different level of stress.
Yeah.
Like it's not as stressful. There's still stress. I mean, there's no if somebody ever says that there's no stress in filmmaking, is not doing it right.
They're not doing it at all.
Like yeah, they're not doing it at all. Like because there's always done
it.
There's gotta be a level of stress. We just had we just had like an office. I think we told you this, but we had an office where people were supposed to come in. There was supposed to be cop office. There was the captain office inside the office. So we're like, oh my god, this is gonna be so cool. We get there, somebody changed the fucking locks on us.
Oh right, you told? Yeah. And you couldn't go in.
We couldn't go in, so we had to improvise. Stressful as hell because I'm like, how are we gonna make this work? And then we did. We figured it out. And I don't think anybody will even care. They'll see this and they'll be like, "Oh, that's the scene."
They won't know. Yeah. Like I don't know. What are you talking about?
But aside from that, like they won't know or care because like we made it work, and that's what you have to do as a filmmaker. And you're probably pretty good at like thinking on your feet when it comes to acting too. Like when somebody comes to you as a director and says, "Can you do this instead of this?" And then you're like, oh, like if you were planning to do something else, and you're like, okay, never mind.
I mean, I'm pretty tight when I'm directing. I usually don't like the input and tell people do not give me input, and there's a reason for it. Everything's scheduled out and already laid out. You can't send me in a different direction, then it changes everything. Because usually the scripts that I'm doing they're all really complicated, so every little detail is going to play out in the end.
Right.
It's going to start in the beginning, and it's not going to make so much sense right away.
Okay.
So if you miss something or change something, it changes everything.
It's true. If you do something like that complicated and everything.
Yeah. It's not like a they're not really simple. I have a tendency to write things a little on the complicated side. I don't know why. I like to make my life hell.
Don't we all?
Yeah. And then I'm going to bitch about it later.
And that's your right.
Oh, welcome to the world. So I like the stories to twist and change, so everything has to be literally laid out as such. And that's why when I'm on something, I appreciate the ideas, but I can't take them.
Right.
Just because it has to pan out a certain way.
Exactly.
Or else it won't work. And if I get thrown off of something and then I'm sitting down with the editor and we're all like, where is this from? And why doesn't now it doesn't match this, and you just screwed up the whole entire thing.
That happens. Like, I mean, and I get frustrated as a director, and so maybe you can tell me what you think about this, but I get frustrated when too many questions, by the actor. Like a few questions is fine, but when like everything I'm directing them and telling them what to do is being questioned, like, why do I have to go over there? Why can't I go over here? Or why am I doing this when I could be doing
that? Could be very annoying.
And it is. It's like, I try to be as patient as possible, but sometimes it's just like, dude, just do what I say to do. Like, don't, you know what I mean? Like, it's, so.
You're gonna get those people that are gonna argue with you.
You're gonna push your buttons a little bit, and then you're gonna decide whether or not you ever want to work with them again or whatever, because that's the thing.
And you're gonna get nervous people who are gonna ask questions because they're nervous.
Yeah.
They're new, they don't know. It's fine. I usually, when somebody's nervous, I usually like to take most new actors. If I have a new actor that I'm working with that hasn't been on sets at all or anything like that, I take in the beginning before we all shoot. Everybody's all together with crew and stuff like that. Everybody gets introduced. I introduce everyone to everyone so they know who everybody is. Okay, and that just levels out like having that nervous, beginning thing of I don't know who these people are and are they gonna like me or whatever the fuck goes through their heads. Right?
Right.
Does my shoe look funny? I don't know. Right? And I like to just get that over with.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now you all know each other, so you can all tell each other to go fuck off. Great, wonderful. And then the really new people, I like to take into a room and just go over like, guys, and I know this sounds really stupid, but it actually works. I'll take those people who are really new that never worked with me or never worked on a set, and we'll do a little stretch exercise. And we'll talk about everything. We'll sit down. It'll be 15 minutes. Everybody else can get ready, start setting up and whatever. And then we'll go over and I'll ask them, you guys, are you okay? Are you nervous?
Mm-hmm.
This is how I direct. This is what I think. I'm not going to pound you if you can't get it right the first time, second time, third time. Nobody does.
Right.
And I let them know that you're going to fuck up royally.
Uh-huh.
That way, all of that's already out of the way. And what winds up happening is sometimes, I've had it happen a couple of times, the first fucking take is the best.
Right.
Which is like, whoop, what? Because they're not worried.
Right.
That all of that overstress is already like the director's going to be an asshole and blah, 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 blah,
Actually,
it's gone.
Okay. I I'll notice this as an actor / director too, that I always like to do like more than one take, period, or even if the first.
Of course,
one's
no,
perfect.
you do more than one take.
Well, no, but like I feel like the more takes, sometimes the more comfortable a few people are starting to feel. Some people, at least.
It just depends on it just depends on your actors. Your more seasoned actors are gonna either get it later or get it in the beginning or get it throughout the whole entire thing. Okay? Your other actors may get it the very first time because it just comes out that way.
Mm-hmm.
Some actors, if you push them too much, they get too exhausted and you exhaust them and then it doesn't work.
Right.
So you have to be careful and just kind of level out who's who.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's why I like to take the new people and stuff and get all of this stress part out of the way. Like they don't know you. You know what I mean? And the only reason why I do that is because I learned it on a professional set.
You learned it on an actual, which one?
We were doing a movie called Montana with Kira Sedgwick, Stanley Tucci.
Mm-hmm.
I had a scene with Stanley Tucci actually.
Nice.
And this was my first HBO movie. Yeah, I mean, this is when I was first starting out too, so I really didn't have any acting experience enough to be on HBO.
Right.
I was only supposed to be a walk-on.
Right.
And I wound up getting a whole scene with Stanley Tucci.
Aw, that's
So
nice.
the director took the people who were brand new, and me included, and had a little sit down and discussion and what the movie was about and to breathe. And she did make us do like a little breathing exercise, like just, take it in, down, whatever. Everybody just chill. And when we went on scene, it was like piece of cake.
I'll try that.
It was a piece of cake.
I gotta shoot tonight. I'll get
and everybody was just like on the right,
Exactly. Like a lot of people and I feel that's good. It's like sort of like a little meditation kind of thing, but it's like kind of a thing where all the stress and everything kind of goes out. That's nice. I like that. See, I'm learning all these kind of cool tricks from. We just interviewed Kate Phoenix, and she was telling us about Todd Sheets' films. I don't know if have you worked with Todd yet?
No, I have not yet.
Not yet. I'm sure you're on his list of people he wants to work with. Because and he works with a lot of the B movie actors and everybody. So
I'm sure.
Yeah, so he's wonderful. But I've heard how he does it, how he opens it up, and I'm just like, that's amazing. The fact that you're able to go out and get the crew and cast together and just relax, before you shoot and everything. And
yeah, even if we have a really big Limbo, we had a lot of people on that set, a lot. Oh my God, I can't even tell you. Hard to keep up with how many people were on that set.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you would have like the morning, in the morning time, everybody make sure you had your food and your, it's all laid out. Make sure you have this. Make sure you have your coffee, because we're gonna be running and gunning. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is gonna be like, full day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's the longest shoot, you've ever been on?
As far as like long,
days and stuff, and
I mean,
like long as in hours, of the day.
I've worked on a lot of shoots that were really long. And they were all equally long. My film was really long days. So was I was the production designer on what was it? House of the Witch Doctor. That was long.
I've heard of that movie.
Long.
I've never seen it though.
Oh yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Those were really long, like, wow, long. But that was because it was, we had to really run and gun and do all this shit, and the production design was like insane. It was insane. I was redoing mansions and outhouses, and
So how did you get into production design?
Well, I graduated from SBA, so I was always doing all kinds of three-dimensional art and stuff like that. And then when I got into the acting world, I was always learning behind the camera, and I was always doing, props and things like that. I would make some of the props for stuff, so, I didn't know where to get them, so I made them, yeah. And then eventually, other people, as I worked and ran in circles and stuff like that, I was always, whenever movies were done, you know how all the actors hang out with all the actors and all the crew hangs out with all the crew, and it kind of just splits off that way?
Right.
I was always the actor that hung out with maybe one or two actors and then stayed with the crew. Wow. Because I always was interested in, like, everything else. That's how I learned how to direct. It's how I learned how to use a camera. It's how, all of it. I would just watch and, hands-on sometimes. I would help people with certain things, crew members. They'd be like, you can't do that, and I'm like, well, this isn't SAG, so. Right.
Exactly.
There you
well,
go.
Non-union, you can do.
Yeah. So
you
then,
do
okay, we'll take your help.
Well,
and then I guess because of the art background and stuff, and I do know how to do a lot of that stuff. So I wound up getting hired, and eventually, I was doing other people's sets, and I was getting paid to do it.
Awesome.
And then when I was on one set, Cigarette Soup, it's a war picture, so I had to make Taliban bunkers.
Aw, that's fun.
Really fucking hard. Okay.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah. Taliban bunkers in Brooklyn.
What?
First
that
problem.
sounds like a title. That sounds
Ready?
like a title.
Ready for the first problem?
What?
Sand. Yeah, that's a very big problem.
Where did you find the sand?
Oh, I can't get
You
into
can't
that.
get. Oh. Wow.
There are some things you just don't talk about.
All right. Well, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah. But if you watch it, if you get a chance to watch it, it's actually pretty good. You should see it.
I definitely will. I kind of I want to check that out at some point.
Yeah.
What's it called again?
Cigarette Soup.
Cigarette Soup.
Yeah.
And where can people find that?
Just go online and just type that in online. Cigarette Soup the movie. It's all over the place.
Okay. Yeah. So streaming places, I guess.
Probably.
Jeez, that's the fun thing. Like, you've been in so many movies that a lot of them are probably streaming on, like, Tubi or, Amazon or whatever.
I have people sometimes that look at me funny, and they're just looking, and this one, where the fuck was I? I forgot where I was. Was it Kansas City? I don't know. It might have been Kansas City. I can't remember. We walked into a video store, because they still have those,
I mean,
I don't have them anymore in other places,
Yeah, in California I saw one. So
yeah, but you could probably catch one here and there. So
Right.
we went into one of these video stores. These old they had everything,
mom and
right?
pop video store.
Yeah, and the one guy's looking over the counter and he's staring at me, and I'm like, what the fuck is this dude staring at? And I'm like, I'm feeling really uncomfortable because it's a dead stare. I'm like, okay, I'm like,
it looks like he wants to kill you.
Like I stole something, or
Oh,
I was just
wow,
like,
yeah.
what the fuck, right? So I'm looking at him now, and I'm like, and I put my hands out right?
Right.
I don't have anything in my hands. I didn't steal anything. I wouldn't do that. Why? What are you looking at? And it didn't hit me, but there is a video right over here, okay,
Right.
that I'm on the cover of, that I didn't see because I was standing right next to it. But it was like right behind me, and he's looking at the cover and looking at me and trying to make the, the association.
Trying to make sure that,
And here I am being a total asshole, and I'm like, what?
What do you want? So did he was like, had he seen the movie? Like, was he a fan of it?
Well, when I got up to the counter, because I had gotten something, I forgot what the hell I got, fucking music or something. I brought up to the counter, and like, he kind of looked at me again, and I turned around behind me because he kept looking like over my shoulder. So I'm like, there's something behind me. This isn't me now, it's something behind me, right? So I turned around and looked over my shoulder, and there it was, the video, right? Just right there. And I just looked at him, and I was like, I'll tell you the video. It was Vampire Seduction. Fuck my life. All right, this thing has come to haunt me for all of my fucking life.
You know this guy. This worker's seen it. You know.
Yeah, I know.
And so now he's like staring at you, going, "All right."
Now I know why he's looking at me, and I'm just like, fucking ridiculous. I'm like, this is ridiculous. And no, I'm not gonna do the fucking. I'm not. And I look back and I look at him, and I just shake my head. I'm like, yeah, right. He's like, oh, and he's like, can you get that one off the shelf and sign it for me? And I was like, sure. So I do, and I sign it, right? And he goes, you got like this really funny line in it. And I'm like, I'm not doing it.
Now I gotta know the line.
No.
Why are you gonna tell me that and not like you not deliver? Jeez, come on, do it for the fans on this show. You know, you don't have to do it for that guy, but the fans of your show. Come on.
Damn it, Moody. All right, for all of you that's seen this, everybody asks me. I hate this shit. All right, hang on. Ready? Bring me my lesbians.
Yes. That's right. Oh, you told me this earlier too. So it's not like, geez, you did a great job. There you go.
I just want you to know, there's a couple of times that I went to Chiller and somebody, and like, we always laugh about, like, I always said, I wonder what a famous actor would say if you recited his line back to him. Like, and I said, that guy must get so fucking annoyed by it, right?
Wallace Shawn does not like when people come up to him and say, inconceivable.
I don't blame him.
I don't blame him
Bring
either.
me my lesbians. I'm like, Jesus Christ, my parents are right there. I'm like, have you no couth?
They probably don't want, like, do they watch your movies? Do your parents watch
No.
your films? No?
No.
Your parents have never seen Vampire Seduction?
No, thank God. God, I hope not. No, they have seen one. They've seen, actually, the really violent one that I told you. Salvation by Blood.
So how do they end up doing that? Did they, like, steal it from you or something?
No, I invited them to the premiere.
Oh.
But I realized when I invited them to, because it was a really good acting role, so I realized when I invited them to, fucking idiot, right? I was like, shit, they've never seen me do the most graphic thing I'm about to do in this, oh, God. Right? So my parents show up, and I'm like, before they can even sit down in the theater, I'm like, okay, guys, listen. I have to be straight up. I'm like, there are some really hard to take scenes in this movie, and I mean hard to take. There's titties in there. I'm like,
like your titties?
Like that's it. I'm like, yeah, who else's titties? Why would I care about somebody else's titties?
I know, but like it's a little embarrassing to watch like any kind of thing.
Yeah,
like
your
that
mom
with
and
somebody.
dad are sitting there. Yes, I had to like tell them, right?
Right.
I was like, you're watching this purely for the acting, okay? And just know it's purely acting. I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna, I'm a serial rapist and killer. Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Thank you. Here we go. All right. So, I sit there and I say, there's 3 things you can do. You can understand that, get up and walk away now, and we're good. I will not get mad. I will understand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I said, you can sit down and enjoy the movie, or you can close your eyes through all of it. But what you're not allowed to do is give me shit for it and walk out in the middle of it. Those 2 things I'm requesting you do not do. Right? With that being said, if you want to stay, great. If you want to go, yeah, they stayed.
And did they enjoy it?
I was so scared. So I'm like after the movie, and I'm looking at Devin. Devin was the director, and I'm like, fuck. And he's like, what's the matter, Tina? He's like, you look really. I've never seen you nervous ever in my fucking entire life of working with you. The last thing on this planet that I would peg you for in the world is being nervous.
Right.
He's like, what is up? I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta talk to them after this. I can't just leave.
Yeah. You can sneak out the back.
I was like, and then there's an after party. Oh my God. Right? So he's like, are you okay? He's like, you're old enough to do whatever the fuck you want. I'm like, that's not the point.
Yeah.
Right? So he's like, all right, go talk to your parents. And I'm like, I walk up quietly and I'm like, Mom, Dad, what did you think? So my dad was, yeah, very good, good. He doesn't care, right? And my mom, with the most intense look I've ever seen, because it's quiet. It's a quiet look, right?
Right.
You were pretty good.
Yeah. Those are the harshest critics because
So
they
I
actually know you.
Yeah,
you
I know, right?
Like,
So I turned around, right? And she didn't see it, but like Devin saw it because he was looking at me, and I was.
oh my
Nailed
goodness.
it. Right?
That's awesome. Because when somebody who actually like grew up with you and knows how you are, as a person and stuff. My mom's seen my movie, right? Scary Story Slumber Party. I invited her to the. We had like a screening at Scares That Care, and I invite her out. She comes in with my dad. They come and sit, or whatever. My mom goes, "I need a drink."
Oh
before
shit!
Gets a drink.
I
whatever.
needed a drink.
Yeah. So she, gets one at the bar because it's at a hotel. Comes back, whatever. Comes back, sits down. We're all like ready to watch the movie and everything. The movie comes out there, and she comes back out, and she looks at me. She goes, "It was, it was pretty good, except I didn't understand this and this and this, right?" And I was just like,
"All right, well, there's your critique."
The harshest
Go,
critics
Mom.
are people who know us and won't.
Oh no, they won't be afraid to tell you.
Right? They because I feel like some people are afraid, like if I say something negative about your movie or say something negative about your work, you're not gonna work with them. You're gonna be like, "Fuck that guy, I don't want to," And actually, it kind of happens, because some people. I mean, we do reviews of movies and we're very honest. A lot of times I'm probably a lot more easier to please than like Paul is because I'm just one of those people that just loves everything, pretty
Right.
much. I don't, it has to be terrible, like so bad, and even then I like enjoy those, those things.
You're like, this is great.
I know,
You're like, I
this
make
is
fun
great.
of it.
But there are some movies that are just so bad that they can't even be redeemed like that, and and everything. But
Yeah.
as long as it's not boring, especially, if it's entertaining in some way or another. But if it puts me to sleep, I can't say it's a good movie.
Yeah.
And so far, all the movies I have seen of yours, none of them put me to sleep because usually your character is always so funny and brings something to the movie, right?
Yeah.
But
ring.
So I guess to wrap this up, can you tell us what you've been working on like recently?
Okay, so right now I'm writing a movie called Dr. X.
Nice.
And it's going to be about these guys that go exploring abandoned buildings, but what they don't realize is that the people that are crazy, they never left the buildings.
Oh, wow.
And they don't particularly like people going into their buildings. But it stems off of another script that's already written, so this is going to be the prequel. I wrote another script called The Sundowners, which I need like $2 million to fucking do it, so we're gonna do this one first on a
Makes sense
smaller
for me.
budget.
Makes sense for me.
This will be easier to shoot. Yeah, so this is gonna be the prequel to that one, and basically those crazy people wind up taking a town and wind up kidnapping people to grow their town.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't play along with them, you become fertilizer. So
Oh, wow. That
you
sounds,
decide.
that sounds
By
wonderful.
the way, after 6 o'clock, they all go berserk. So from the morning, from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., they are normal functioning people with normal jobs. They made their own jobs. They built a town. From 6 to 6, they're flips a daisical.
Wow.
And they just become whatever they are.
That sounds fun.
Oh, it is fun. So the prequel to that is going to be Dr. X. So I'm writing that right now. I plan on hopefully shooting it in the summer. We'll see.
Well, technically, is it... Okay, so this is a good question. Is it a prequel if it already goes first? Or is it just the first movie?
No, it's the prequel to this.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm saying, though... like, I always get an argument with people because of this thing, but we don't have to get an argument if you don't.
No, because this was written first.
Okay, so that was written first, so technically this is the prequel.
This is the prequel.
Okay, I get it now. Like, that's perfect. But I'm just saying, like, sometimes...
Many years first.
You know, if
Too many years.
There you go. So, that sounds cool. I love it. Like, I adore... what you're doing, like everything, like every movie that I've seen you being part of, and is there any way people can see Limbo? Is that out or?
Oh yeah, Vinegar Syndrome carries it. That's the distributor for Limbo.
Vinegar Syndrome's a great company.
Yeah, so if you guys want to get a hold of it, you know exactly where to go.
You're at conventions all the time, at their tables and stuff, and. Next time I see it, I'll look at their table and see if Limbo's, or I might order it online anyway.
You can just order it online. I mean, whichever you prefer.
Did you do like commentary and stuff for it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's my favorite part about Vinegar Syndrome is they're very particular about like behind the scenes stuff. They're not like bare bones. They make sure that everything is like
Yeah, they even have. I did a short, for the New York Film Festival for the New York Shorts, right? It won.
Nice.
That short is on there, so
nice.
it's part of the package thing. So if you get a chance, oh, by the way, the short has no people in it. Right.
Wait.
Wrap your head around that.
I'm like that just blew my mind. What?
I know. Wrap your head around that.
So
there are no people in this short. Not one fucking person at all.
How long is it?
It's about 15 minutes.
Whoa! And 15 minutes and no people.
No people.
Animals?
Nope.
Trees?
Objects.
That's
it. Try a phone. 2 phones.
Jeez. Holy cow. That sounds... but hey, you know what?
It works. You won.
Hey, it works. And on top of that, you made something that, like, people... You're probably on a budget in any way. Like, you're just like,
It was after I shot Limbo. I had such... Oh, that movie, man. That movie taught me a lesson. Well, let me just tell you. Okay. Woo! So after I shot Limbo, I was in such a crazy space. I was like, I turned around to my crew and I was like, I'm going to make a fucking movie with no goddamn actors in it, and that's it. Right. And they were like, Tina, we're like, no, fuck you. Right? And I did. We shot it, literally wrote it and shot it in one day.
Crazy.
Yeah, I was in one of my moods, and I was like, boom, and one of the guys that was my sound guy, he was a vegan. So we always used to we had this funny thing. I'm a fucking hardcore meat eater. Oh, God, that's not right. No.
That's a whole different interview.
Wrong movie. No, just kidding. No, but he's a vegan, and I'm so not. Like, I'm just a total polar opposite. And I would make fun of him, and I'd be like, Sean, we're gonna cook your noodles in a pan that we just fried some chicken in, right? Like, get pissed off.
Oh my God, that's like a vegan's worst nightmare.
Yeah, you didn't change the pans. What's wrong with you, Tina? I was like, what? I said, no, I'm just gonna rub some pork fat in here, and then like just fry up your veggies.
That is funny.
So we had this whole thing between like vegan and meat eater, right? So I based the script on that, and it's basically this guy accidentally he's calling somebody on a blind date, and he calls the wrong girl,
right? And
he asks her out on a date anyway because fuck it, he's on the phone. It's a blind date anyway. Who cares, right?
Right.
And so it starts off with him wanting to take her to a steakhouse, and you just take it from there.
Nice.
And it's good.
Yeah, I gotta see it.
And then he murders her.
Oh. That happens, I guess. Right?
It's good.
So that's great.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever made well, I guess this would be weird, but like never made a movie about a vegan serial killer, you know, like a cannibal that can't eat the meat or something.
Oh, he was.
You know?
No, he's not. He's not the vegan.
Oh no,
He's a vegan in real life.
Right. I was just saying. I was just saying that would be funny. Like,
And it's both of our voices, by the way. He's playing the meat eater, and I'm playing the vegan.
So you guys just swapped roles?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, totally. I was like, this will be good.
Why not, right? You know, I mean, it's called acting, right?
Because it's like you're busting on yourself almost. Like, you know, I have to say some smart ass shit to him. He says some smart ass shit to me. He's like, oh, fine, well, I'll just go eat a bush.
That's funny.
And I didn't write that line. He came up with that. We ad-libbed the whole freaking thing.
I gotta see this at some point. Jeez.
Yeah, it's really.
She's a vinegar syndrome or
Vinegar syndrome.
yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's good. It's like you get okay. So Limbo's very. There's nothing comedic about it at all. It's basically about this woman going through purgatory. She's got one foot in the real world and one foot in purgatory. She's dying.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very dreamlike, weird.
Right.
Okay, and she's starting to go straight to hell.
Oh wow.
So it's starting to turn bad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that's kind of where I leave it.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. But then you have Phone Tag, which is the short, which goes down its slippery slope, but it's comedy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a black comedy. So
Well, I'm definitely buying Limbo from Vinegar Syndrome because I need to check this out. You know, support Tina and everything. So you guys do the same. Go buy it. Check it out. It sounds awesome.
yeah, and look for another movie coming out. It's Trap, and it's not a horror. It's actually like a I want to say a drama.
Oh wow.
Yeah, action drama.
That's great.
Yeah.
You know, like that
That'll be out soon.
You're so versatile. You do like a lot of different movies. You don't just stick to one
Oh no,
genre.
I like all.
Have you done a
stuff.
Western yet?
Yes. Better yet, a Western musical. Top that one.
Okay, that's definitely different.
Gone with the Wieners. I swear to God.
That was the title?
Yes.
What? How's that even? That doesn't even sound like a Western title.
You gotta see it. I swear to God. Had his shit kickers on. It was done in like a place with horse stables and all kinds of crap.
Did you sing?
I did.
You
I did.
I have to see this.
I've been in musicals before.
Right, but
Yeah, I've been on stage in musicals.
I mean, I've seen you sing in Witch House 3, but I don't think I've ever seen you.
No, I've been on stage singing
oh my God,
parts.
it's awesome.
Shut up.
It's awesome. I love that.
I
Like,
do have stage background.
yeah, well, there you go.
But
You know,
musicals of all the fucking things in the world.
that's so funny.
Can you imagine that?
No, I can. Oh man, I love it.
Yeah.
So, all right. Do you have a website or do you have a way people can
You
reach
just
you?
right now I'm doing everything between Facebook and Instagram. So Space Monkey 7777 would be the Instagram, and then Tina Krause 1420 would be the Facebook. I actually remember that number.
That's really funny. How the Space Monkey thing, is that a thing? Like, is that something that you like came up with yourself out of like a character or something? Like what is that?
I've been called Space Cadet, Space Head, Space Everything, and then somebody said that I'm a goofball and called me a monkey, and the two just fit.
So you're like Space Monkey.
That's it, and they were like, "That's perfect." It's like, oh, all right.
Another potential title someday. Space Monkey.
Here, look at Tina running around the cosmos. Here it is. Phew, Space Monkey. I'm going to start my own cartoon.
I'd watch it.
Yeah, it would be really trippy.
Well, thank you so much. This was wonderful. I had a blast. I always have a blast. I had a blast on set with you.
Excellent, man.
Yeah, it was fun, you know. You were so tired by the end of it. You were like, I just need to go take a shower and go to bed. You know? Like, it was a long, you know, it wasn't actually that long of a night, but it was probably still felt that way because we got a lot done in like no time or whatever and stuff.
That's cool.
I adore working with you now. Like I'm gonna work with you a lot more.
Yay!
You know, as long as you want to, we're down to come. So. All right. Well, thank you guys for checking this out. I hope you guys enjoy it and check out a lot of Tina's movies. I mean,
yeah,
a lot of them are streaming everywhere. So I think you look on Tubi, you can find like.
You could just type Tina Krause and everything's gonna come up. Go on IMDb. I don't know. And yeah, you can always check out my Facebook. I started getting with the program. I am the fucking worst with this shit.
Finally?
So, yeah, finally, after how many years? 20 years, I actually started answering people back on Facebook. No lie. I am so bad with, Instagram, so bad with it. I'm like, oh, poor... Never look at it again. My nephew had to bring it up to my younger nephew. He called me up and he's like, you make me laugh, Aunt Tina. He goes, you don't answer anybody. What's wrong with you? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, people are asking questions and you're not answering them.
Oh, in the comments?
In the comments, and I'm like, oh. Oh, you guys.
Oh, it's tough when you got like real job in real life. You know, you don't want to just be online all the time. You know what I mean?
He's just like, you're in space, Tina. I was like, hence the name.
Yep.
Hence the name.
And there you go, folks. That's where Space Monkey comes from.
Bingo.
All right. Well, thank you guys for checking this out. Join us next month for another Indie Film Cafe Spotlight. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.